Greetings and salubrious salutations. Welcome to part 2 of our Laravel full app tutorial with NativePHP. In part 1 of this tutorial, we installed Livewire 3, Tailwind CSS, NativePHP, and a brand new Laravel application. We created our native to-do app and got cruddy with it, allowing users to create to-dos, edit to-dos, marking to-dos complete, deleting to-dos, taking to-dos. Wait, no, bro. Anyway, if you missed that, go back and take a look. The link is right here. Someone once said that debugging is like being the detective in a crime movie where you're also the murderer. So in part 2, we're going to go back and write some tests for the work that we already did using Pest. Pest is a testing framework with a focus on simplicity. Something else that's super simple is liking this video and subscribing to Laravel Online. The more subscribers and likes that I get, the more videos that I can make. Our goal is to inspire, empower, and teach individuals just like you that is starting their software development career or wanting to enhance their software development career using all things Laravel. So let's hop on in and start part 2 of the series. All right, where were we? Tests. Let's write some. So I just pulled in Pest, and I was looking at the describe function. This is pretty cool. So when you wrap your test, so each test kind of looks like this, right? Test, and then you put a little description in there of what the test is. So this is a home test, and just says whatever it is. When you wrap it with the describe, it gives you a chance to kind of like namespace your test, which gets really helpful when there's a lot more tests in play. So if we do like, just copied and pasted this in, we're not going to keep this obviously, but when we say describe the to-dos index, it's actually probably all going to be to-dos. To be honest, we'll just say the index, okay? So we're going to like it doesn't show to-dos if there are none. And we will write and that reminds me, we do need to get our factory set up. So we could write this test first. So let's delete this and we can just say, all right, so the page works without any to-dos because we're going to get the root directory and then assert that the status is all right. There we go. So I'm just running pest here, and while we're at it, let's go ahead and add an alias for pest. So we can just type pest and we'll just run. Let's do sudo nano and go into .zshrc. This is going to be different for everyone's computer. I'll probably do another video on getting your aliases set up and using ZSHRC and all that stuff. I'm going to put in my password, and that was wrong. Try that again. And you can see I've got some aliases here, so we're just going to add another one, alias pest /vendor bin pest. And that should work. So we'll exit and we will save. And let's do source. And now we should be able to type pest. And we do. Great. The page works without any to-dos. Let's do something like, if no to-dos, we see a link to create a to-do. And we're going to do some Livewire tests here. So we're going to say Livewire test the index class. Not passing anything in here. And assert C. And then let's get that link. Click here to create one. Let's just grab that. And run pest again. All right, that's working. Now we're going to get into some the factory stuff. So if there are to-dos, they are shown. How about that? All right, so All right, we would assert that we don't see. We would assert that we don't see this, right? So what we need to do is not do that again. So that one's gonna fail because we wanna hide this if there are to-dos. So we need to run our seed. So to-do, factory, create. Let's create 3. Now that should fail. And it would fail because well, I had the wrong method in there. So let's do this. All right, so now that's failing for a different reason. All right, so integrity constraint violation. So we're needing to get into our factory here. So let's go ahead to our factory, and we need to define this. And we're going to say our we have a title, and that is a faker. We'll just do like a sentence, and then let's check the. We have title, a UUID, completed at, currently working on. Okay, let's add a UUID. We can just do an actual UUID. String. Not worried about it right now. Let's go completed at, that's a date time. And let's leave those null for now. Now it is showing that they that link is hidden, but we need to make sure that we can see assert. See. See, I think these to-dos would be stored here. Let's just die and dump these out. No. Well, we can do this. To-dos equal to-do get. We should be able to see like the to-dos first, title, and that's going to fail because we're not showing them. Cool. So let's go to our index. We have this to-dos variable that's holding all of our to-dos. So we can say for each one of these, let's just echo that out, the to-do title, and that should let our test pass. And it does. But let's make this a little bit nicer. All right, so it's saying that there's none here, and we don't have any seeded in the database, actually. We can run a seeder. I don't think that would work. I'm not sure that there is a seed method, so let's check out NativePHP and see if there's a native seeder. Seed. Doesn't look like it. That would be a really nice pull request for NativePHP to do like native seed and then you pass the class. So what we're going to do here locally is well, we don't have any created yet. We can go ahead and create the create method. It's kind of working backwards, but yeah, we're gonna do it. So we're gonna make another livewire. Livewire, make to-dos. So let's go back to our web. We're going to say if you visit the to-dos create or to-dos /create, this really should be to-dos, but that's okay. Then we're going to hit the create class. Let's go ahead and give these names while we're at it. So this one is named Todos Index, and this is Todos Create. And while we're here, let's make the update wrap also. So if we hit todos /to-do /edit. Edit route. Yeah. And that should work. Cool. So back here, if we go to our index, right here we can put a link that goes to our route for the creation. And we'll use that here also. Cool. There it is. Now we can't see anything there, but we know that it didn't throw an error, and it should go to a blank page technically anyway. So let's go ahead and start writing up our to-do create test. So PHP artisan, make test. And we're going to do the same thing that we did here. And this is create. And the page works. This should actually fail. Let's run pest again, because it's not /create. I believe it's /todos /create. Great. So let's go in and start working on create. So it saves a to-do to the database. This is going to be another Livewire test. Livewire test create. Now with the test here, we can set whatever we want to. So we can set like the title to do number 1. And we can call a method called save to do, and then expect and then this assert database count, and we're going to say the table is to-dos and the count is 1. And all this should fail. We have none of this set up yet. So we're going to set a title, we're going to call save to do, and we're going to expect to see this. So let's go to create. We know that we're going to have a public string title. And save to do. Now, something really cool that we, so in the old Livewire, we used to have to call like this validate and have a rules array and stuff. Something really cool are these PHP attributes. So if we do this syntax, It would help if we imported the right one. The attribute. It's required, it's a string, min1, awesome. So this will automatically call validation inside of any save method. So I think that's really handy to have. So we can just like die and dump this for now. And let's update the UI. So we're gonna have all right, so a couple things here. I grabbed some of my HTML from the other project that I had created and brought it in here. Notice a couple things that I'd forgotten. One is that wire navigate is really what we should have been doing for links all along. Wire navigate is awesome. So a traditional link is just going to, when you click it, take you to another route. What wire navigate does is actually fetches that other route's content while you're kind of hovering over the button, and as soon as you click it, it just like swaps out the HTML inside of your view. So it really turns your Livewire app into a single page application. I think it needs a little bit of padding. Maybe not that much, maybe just 2. All right, so let's see what happens when we store this. Now it's just gonna die and dump this, and we'll just type in whatever. So we've got the title is set here, and we've got rules from outside, and that's the title. That's perfect. We should be able to just store the to-do. So when we call this validate, we get our title there. Cool. So what we want to do is actually, let's copy this. We need to create that UUID when this is first generated. There's a couple different ways to go about this. Putting it right here inside of the controller, inside of Livewire, that's fine. So we'll say the to-do is equal to, I don't know if we actually need to store this here. We'll say to-do, create, and then we'll do array merge, and we'll pass this validate in, which is an array, and then we'll do string UUID to string, and let's put that in an array as well. So this would be the UUID, and such a noob. And then we'll redirect back. I think we can redirect to a route called index. Great. So, actually we can try the test. And that failed. Let's see why. Mass assignment. So we have to add title to the fillable property. So let's go into to-do, and I'm gonna just do protected, guarded is the ID. That should work. Perfect. And now when using that, we can say take out the trash. Cool. And here's our to-do. So let's style this to-do just a little bit more, right? So I went and updated some of the styling behind the scenes here. So you can see we've got a to-do ID as a wire key, some tailwind. We're displaying the to-do. If it's completed, we're doing a line through. If not, then we're not. The created at is diff for humans, so that shows how long ago it was created. We can see if the to-do is complete or not. And we're gonna add a button here, and we're gonna add functions for all this stuff. And then also, like if for currently working on, when we click that, I'll just go ahead and show you. And let's give this a little bit of margin. All right, so I went ahead and gave this a little bit of margin, and taking a look around, yeah, looks pretty good. We can remove this margin now. Perfect. So we can see our title, take out the trash. It was created 2 minutes ago. We have the ability to mark it complete, to set it as a currently working on to do. We can edit and we can delete. Let's go ahead and add some of those functions now, but we'll do it TDD. So we would see that does satisfy that. So let's say when marks a to-do as complete. So let's just create one to-do. And we're going to call. Let's see what that function is called. Complete. We're going to call complete, passing in that to do, I think. Yeah. You have to pass in that to do. Now that should fail because we haven't set it up. And what should we do? We should see that to do, and then let's see, this expect assert true. The to do completed at is not null, or we can just say it's not empty. Might be a little bit cleaner. Cool. So let's go into this complete method that doesn't exist. That's going to take a to-do, and let's just die and dump that to-do. Make sure that's all wired up, and it does. Perfect. And let's say to-do update completed at Great. Now the pest test should work. Cool. We're not doing any kind of notification right now, but it should update inside of the UI. So if we go ahead and click this checkbox, it should keep it checked. Great. And you can see also I have some logic here for like you don't see the edit button anymore, and we don't see the completed at button. It's going to be a little bit trickier to test that since that's all kind of the UI. Yeah, we're going to skip testing that stuff for now because it's just kind of a nicety anyway. It's not actual functionality. So great, let's create another one. We need some space in between these. Each one, let's give it, so like margin bottom 6, a little much, let's go 4, that's still a little bit too much, let's go 2, I'm good with that, great. So we have sync current. So the interesting thing about the current feature is that if you mark one as current, we want to make sure that none of the other ones are also currently being worked on, right? So when we run this function, the first thing we're going to do is set all of your to-dos as not being currently worked on, and then the one that we are passing through, we're going to make that currently working on. The Boolean would be true. So let's create the test for that. It syncs currently working on. Let's go ahead and create 2 of these. And we'll say to do 1 is the first one, and to do 2 is find 2. So let's just die and dump the second one here. It is null. There we go. Good. All right, so we have the first one and we have the second one. So we're going to call the sync current and passing in the to do 1. Now we need to the best way to do this is to actually run the assertion a couple times and call it a couple times also. So let's say this assert true. To do 1 currently working on. So that should work. And then what we'll do is we'll call the same method a second time, and then passing to do 2, and we'll assert this one is not true anymore, and that the second one is true. So let's run pest, and that will fail. We don't even have the function yet. All right, so how are we going to build this out? Let's say public function sync current, that's going to take a to do, and we will say we'll get each one of the to-dos and we'll run a function to do, and it will be to do update currently working on is false. And then we will do to do that we just passed in, update currently working on to true. Let's run that pest. That passed, let's go ahead and update it. So after we pass in the first one, we'll pass in the second one. We should also assert that to do 2, assert false. I guess assert true, but negate it. And then we'll just flop those and run that test. Okay, That failed. Failed, asserting false is true. Which one did it fail at though? Let's see if these are working. They are. Let's also like refresh. The model. Let's see if that's it. Let's make this. All right, so that's saying that to do 2 is being currently worked on. That's right. And I'm saying this one is too. So let's see. Maybe this isn't working. So this should loop over each of them and update currently working on to be false. Why wouldn't that work? So let's find dump to-dos here. They're all false. So let's see if it's working in the browser. So if we mark this as currently working on, that's great. And then if I click this, that should flop. And it does. And it does. Let's add another one. It's all looking good to me. That's interesting. What's going on with the test then? I have a sneaking suspicion that it has something to do with both. We just manually update to do 2 update currently working on to true. Let's see if this. Alright, so it looks like it's a caching thing with Livewire. So calling refresh is actually working. I'm gonna try this real quick. We'll take this one. Actually, let's just undo everything. And let's see. Let's come back here. let's do to do 1, refresh, and to do 2, refresh, and cross our fingers. There we go. Okay, so the model is being cached. We just refresh the model from the database and it works. Okay. Next, deleting. Let's go to our view and let's see, we've got a trash, here we go, a delete function. So let's make a test. It can delete a to-do. In the first to-do, and insert database count, takes the table, to-dos, and of 1. Alright, so we're creating 2, we're calling delete on the first one, and then we're asserting that it only has 1 left. So let's go here. Let's create that delete function. That also takes in a to-do. And we'll say to-do for sleep. Great, and that works. So let's test that in the browser. Cool. All right. I think at some point we'll have like an archive feature as well. We'll see. So we can creating to-dos, and we can delete them. We can set them as active. We can mark them as complete. And we can delete them. Great. So let's work on edit. The edit and the create are going to be almost identical. The only difference is with the edit, we're going to pass a to-do, a specific to-do, into the view, so we already have something to work with. The view is pretty much the same though. Let's go to web. Let's go to edit, and let's paste this in. So this is basically the same thing as the create. We're going to add, it says add a to-do, but it's really update, and we have a link to navigate to index. We have this submit button, and that's going to call this method save. Like I said, the only difference is we have a to-do already. So let's say public to-do, import that. And in our mount, we'll say to-do, this to-do equals to-do. Okay, so when we call edit, let's dine dump to do. There it is. Okay, So that's going to be the to-do title. So let's make that, let's set that. So public title, and that's a string. And we'll say this title equals to-do title. Cool. And in our HTML, a blade, this is a title. There it is. Let's add back that heading left that we needed in the other view. Perfect. Now when we update this and click edit, that should call this method save. Let's go ahead and write a test for this. To-do edit test. Okay, so page works. Let's navigate. We would get the to-dos slash, we're going to make it to-do ID, and edit. So let's do to-do, factory, no. Alright, let's run pest. Great. So that's working too. So one thing I forgot to be doing is updating our describe, right? So actually it's here in create, I just didn't do it on edit. It works. Probably makes more sense. Okay. When updating a to-do, it saves to the database. All right, so we're going to create a to-do. We're going to go to the edit. Let's update. And we're going to assert that we see, that's not bad. To do first title, and we do not. Oh, we need to, right, okay, so we have to pass that to-do in here. And that is like so. I think it's to-do. Pass that to-do. First. Should set everything in the mount function. Let's see what's going on. there is the so we have the to-do and we have the title. Maybe we can assert set instead. Assert set title, and that's the to-do first title. And really this should be, let's go ahead and copy and paste this. This is it loads the to-do. That would be first, so that should be passing. It works, it loads the to-do, it updates the to-do. And I'm going to load it in here, we're going to start set. We are going to then set the title attribute to, hi there. And then we can, let's assert true or assert database has. And that's to-dos, and then you can pass in an array of data. So this would be like ID 1 and title of, hello there, hi there. But we didn't call did it save? I think it should be. There it is. Alright, so let's make that method. And since we don't need to we already have the to-do that we're working with, we could just update it. So let's make this title, let's give it that role attribute. It's required string. And we can say this to-do update, this validate. I think that would work. Let's see what the test says. Looks good to me. Great. So let's test it in the browser. Another one again. Now it could have worked and I did refresh it, but let's go ahead and redirect back. So this redirect route index. And there it is. Great. So we have the basics of our to-do app. All right, folks, thanks for hanging out with me. I hope you're able to learn something following along with our native PHP application. Next up, we're going to build a completely separate web application that's going to allow us to synchronize data between our app and the web, allowing us to see what our team is working on. Don't forget to like and subscribe and check out part 1 in case you missed it. We'll see you next time.